My dad had cancer and needed $1 million for treatment, but I took his life-saving money and traveled abroad. On the day I returned home, I was shopping at the mall. My mom found me. She took my hand and cried bitterly, begging, "Pearl, please save your dad. He's your real dad. He raised you from a young age. Do you want to watch him die?" Her eyes were full of hope as she looked at me. After all, I had won a $10 million lottery some time ago, and I wasn't lacking this $1 million at all. But I refused without hesitation. No money. Then I turned around and picked up on $1 million bag. "1 Please put this bag up for me." I handed the card to the sale. My mom was dumbfounded, followed by a torrent of tears. She jumped over and knelt in front of me, kowtowing to me non-stop. Let's just say Mom begged you not to. Mom kowtows to you. Mom kowtows to you. My mom kowtowed her head with a thud, and when she looked up again, her forehead was broken and oozing blood. Her cries were so miserable that even the passers-by coming and going from the mall couldn't help but stop and watch, casting sympathetic glances at her. I, on the other hand, scared impatiently. "You don't understand human language, do you? I've said no money, no money." My mom froze. She pointed at the bag with a trembling hand and questioned, You said you don't have money. Then why can you afford this bag? This bag is $1 million. It's the same as your father's treatment cost. Is a bag more important than your father's life? Pearl, ever since I was little, Mom hasn't begged you for anything. But Mom is on her knees begging you this time. Mom, please save your dad. I ignored her and moved on to try other bags. The expensive bags went well with my designer coat, and I stood in front of the mirror taking selfies. The sales stood beside me and complimented me on how good I looked. And in a moment of joy, I pulled a few $100s out of my bag and gave it to her. Tip. Seeing me acting like I didn't care, my mom couldn't hold back any longer and got up from the floor to give me a slap. With trembling hands, she looked at me with old tears in her eyes, unbelief in her eyes. You're such a disappointment to me. Do you know what your father is like now? He can't afford treatment or hospitalization fees, and he's been kicked out into the corridor by someone else's hospital. The people around us swarmed over with the mindset of watching what was going on, surrounding my mom and I in the middle. A few enthusiastic female college students even went forward to support my mom left and right, for fear that she would faint. I calmly smoothed my hair and handed the bag in my hand to the sales. Fill this up for me too. The sale was about to walk away with the bag when my mom stopped her. Girl, you can't sell it to her. It's her dad's life-saving money. You guys can't even imagine what her dad is already suffering from the disease. She took out her cell phone and clicked on a video to show the people around her. In the video, my dad was thin and withered, his hair falling out, sitting in the hospital corridor, helplessly shedding tears. He said in a hoarse voice, "Wife, don't make things difficult for Pearl. My old bones are gone. $1 million is better to leave it to Pearl. She is our only daughter after all." After saying that, my dad coughed out a mouthful of blood raw, splashing on the hospital gown. Some of the soft-hearted students had already started to shed tears. Sales is even more difficult to ride the tiger. She looked at me with a face of tangled intolerance. Miss, or not this bag or... I rolled my eyes and turned my head to look at her. You're a seller of things, but not a charity. You care about my money, how to spend. I'm a VIP customer here. If you don't hurry up and load it up for me, I'm going to complain about you. Hearing that, I'm going to report. The sales face turned pale all of a sudden. She bent down and apologized to me, and flew off to get the bag packed for me. I took the bag and looked condescendingly at my mom. My face was one of unhidden disgust. It's all about his life. What can I do? Besides, if he dies, then he dies. He said himself that his old bones are gone, and he's going to leave all his money for me to spend. Stop yelling here. It's embarrassing. Just go back. My mom clutched the corner of my coat with eyes wide open and asked me in a trembling voice, "Pearl, Mom remembers that you won $10 million in the lottery some time ago. You don't even lack this $1 million. Why aren't you willing to save your dad?" I impatiently shrugged off my sleeve and yelled towards her, "Can you stop just pulling on me? Your hands are filthy. This is my new coat. Can you afford to pay for it if it gets dirty? Besides, I won $10 million is that I have the life of great wealth and prosperity. My father, he got cancer, that is, he did not enjoy the life of happiness. People should accept their fate. Why should I use my money to save him?" After saying that, I patted the place where my mom scratched just now with force and turned to leave. But I was deadlocked by the enthusiastic people around me. "You are not allowed to leave. You're such an animal. How can you talk to your mom like that? Right? What an uncultivated, ungrateful wretch. Winning $10 million but not willing to take out $1 million to cure your dad. I've never seen such a heartless person. That's it. Still has the nerve to buy a bag here. If I remember correctly, the first bag she bought was $1 million. Right. In her eyes, her father's life is not as important as her bag. Perhaps not expecting me to be so heartless." My mom's eyes went black and her body swayed, almost fainting. She stabilized her feet and came towards me on her knees, shivering and grabbing my pant leg, begging me hoarsely, "Pearl, just think of it as Mom begging you. Your father and I have raised you for more than 20 years. So for the sake of raising you, save your father. The big deal is that this money is considered as us asking you to borrow it. After your dad is cured, we will definitely find a way to pay you back. Even if it's work odd jobs and go collect recyclables, they'll definitely find a way to pay you back. Just think of it as Mom begging you. Mom kowtows to you." The biological mother kowtowed to her own daughter and said she would borrow her daughter's money to give her father medical treatment. Everyone present was moved and began to wipe the tears from the corners of their eyes. She was about to kowtow, but was pulled back by the student behind her. "Auntie, you don't have to do this. Yes, we've already called the police. When they come, they'll see what she says. Such an ungrateful person should be struck by lightning from heaven." I raised my hand to look at my watch and asked in a cold voice, "Finished? Can you get out of the way when you're done? I still have a beauty appointment in the afternoon. If I'm delayed, will you compensate me for the money?" My indifference deeply pierced my mom's heart. She wailed and came over to pound me, her voice sobbing. "You animal, Our family is in a bad condition, but you always have the best food and clothes. Your father couldn't spare a new pair of shoes for a few years, but he saved money to buy you name brands, just because he was afraid that people would look down on you if you went to school in the city, when you were sick as a child. Your father and I went from door to door, kneeling down and begging for a cure for you. You were sick for several years, and Mom begged for help all over the internet, and only with great difficulty were you cured. Now you have $10 million. But you are dead set against taking $1 million to save your dad. You really let me down. If I had known this, I wish I had never given birth to you." I was silent. What my mom said was indeed true. I had been in poor health since I was a child. And it was only through her and my dad's careful care that I was able to grow up. In order for me to have a mouthful of eggs to eat, my father worked day and night on farm work. And in that place where every family favored sons over daughters, only my family treated the female child as a treasure, and even borrowed money to send me to the city to study. It can be said that I now have such a favorable life, all because of them. My silence made the crowd think that there was room to turn things around. So under their expectant eyes, I kicked my mom on the shoulder. "Damn old woman. Didn't I tell you not to touch me? It's dirty." I scanned the crowd around me again with cold eyes. "If you guys are heartbroken, just pay to save him. $1 million is not a small amount. Stop morally kidnapping me here." I pushed through the crowd and left in stride. My mom was about to get up from the ground to chase me when she received a call from the hospital. She shakily clicked on the speakerphone and the doctor's sorrowful voice came out. Patient Frank Williams has just passed away. And I'd also like to ask you to come to the hospital quickly to take care of the follow-up. My mom couldn't hold on any longer and passed out after wailing. Hearing the news of my dad's death, I really don't know whether to be excited or happy. I left without looking back and took a taxi to the beauty salon. Because my dad died, my mom will never pester me for that $1 million again. So I was in a good mood. Not only did I get a beauty treatment, but I also spent a few $1,000s to get my nails done and posted it online. The netizens in the comments section were all cursing me. It was only then that I realized that the scene at the mall today had been filmed and posted online. The video quickly climbed to the hot search in a short time. The netizens who watched the video all hated my heartless indifference, heartbroken my father and my mom's miserable encounter. There were even spontaneous donations for my parents. Some netizens who were also in the hospital sent out a video of my parents. In the video, my mom jumped on my dad's body bawling. Netizens used a poem to describe my mom. A sorrowful lament. Sound sobbing, words to the heart. It brought tears to the ears of those who heard it and sadness to those who listened to it. I clicked into that phrase as well and posted a few photos from my Twitter account. In the photos, there was the mansion I bought for millions of dollars. There was also me wearing designer clothes and eating expensive fruits to watch a movie. Even my dog was dressed up and eating the most expensive steak. My happy life contrasted sharply with my parents' misery. And netizens rushed to my Weibo in droves, abusing me with the filthiest words. They even posted my photo as a posthumous photo as an avatar. Looking at their anger, I smiled and poured myself a glass of red wine. Make a scene. The bigger the scene, the more exciting it will feel when you know the truth. A few days later, a program group invited me to appear on the show. It was a family mediation program, and it was my mom who took the initiative to contact the program. I didn't refuse and gladly agreed. On the day of the program, I specially wore my newly purchased brand name dress, carrying a LV bag, dressed brightly. And my mom is a rags, eyesless, hair messy holding my dad's urn, cannot stop shedding tears. She looked at me with eyes full of despair and spoke in a mute voice. Pearl, we are at least mother and daughter. I don't want to go to court with you. So mom can only express her demands through this program. Mom doesn't want you to support me in the future. All I want is for you to pay us back all the money your father and I have spent on you over the past 20 years. I fiddled with my nails, my face indifferent, not answering her words. The host couldn't stand to look at me anymore. And he questioned me with suppressed anger. Shin Pearl. Yesterday our program team went to your village and asked the townspeople. They all said that your parents treat you very well, as if their eyes hurt, holding it in their hands for fear of breaking, holding it in their mouths for fear of melting. Even when you were a child and got a serious illness, your parents went door to door begging on their knees, and even opened live streams on the internet to the netizens to kneel down, begging them to save you. Why are you so apathetic? Watching your own father die without the money for treatment, while you live in a mansion and enjoy big fish and meat. Hearing the host's words, I couldn't help but be a little out of my mind. He was right. My mom and dad had really treated me top-notch. I didn't have to do farm work when I was growing up, and while other girls were promised to other people as daughters-in-law, I was able to dress up and go to school in the city. When I was in college, I wanted to work part-time, but my parents said I should enjoy my college life and not wear myself out, and even gave me $2,000 a month for living expenses. When I was a kid and someone bullied me, they would take a broom and shoo people away for 2 miles. Even when I scratched some skin, my mom would shed tears of pain. I once thought that I was the happiest child in the world, and I didn't expect to see that I didn't say anything. My mom lifted up her sleeve, revealing the hideous scar on her wrist. She said in tears, "Our family Pearl grew up in poor health. There was a period of time to get a strange disease. A week in a row is not good. We went to a number of hospitals are useless. My old man and I went to Westville to beg the godmother to give a prescription, using human blood into medicine for the child to drink. I cut my wrists for a week in a row to give Pearl medicine. She slowly got better. She hugged Ern tightly, tears falling in big streams. Immediately afterward, the show put a video on the big screen. It was recorded by my dad himself before he died. In the video, his eyes were filled with despair, but he still tried his best to pull out a smile to face the camera. My daughter is my pearl in the palm of my hand. My lifeblood. If I die, I hope no one will blame my daughter. She must have something hard to say. She must have an unspeakable hardship. Pearl, Daddy loves you. You must take care of yourself." Hoarse and old voice mixed with violent coughing. The audience in the room fell into tears, and the scene resounded with sobs one after the other. I, however, could not help but laugh out loud, seeing that I actually laughed without conscience. All the audience began to scold me. My mom spoke up at the right time. "Your father and I have invested countless amounts in you over the years. But I only want you for $500,000. $500,000. It's not enough to buy one of your bags, but it can buy out our mother-daughter bond. From now on, you don't have to support me, and I won't look for you again." The host looked to me, waiting for me to speak. I stroked my hair and under everyone's shocked gaze, smiled and spoke. "No. No money." The room erupted at these words. The program was a live stream, and comments from netizens between the live streams were put up on the big screen. "What an animal. I really want to slap her. Ah. Is there any support? Let's form a group to beat her up. I really feel so sorry for her parents. Ah. How did they raise such an ungrateful wretch? This kind of social scum should be strangled at birth. This bitch is actually still laughing. Looking at the way she's laughing, I really want to rush over and rip her mouth off." The audience under the stage was even more agitated, and a few impulsive ones even climbed onto the stage to try and hit me. Nobody move. We're the police. A few police officers from the backstage crowded onto the stage and surrounded me and my mom in the middle. Those in the audience also took out unwanted objects from their bodies and started throwing them at me. "Right. The police have come at the right time. Quickly arrest this heartless beast. I suggest shooting this beast. It's really too disgusting. People like her should be killed by 1,000 cuts. Death is not enough." Watching them curse more and more vigorously, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. And the entire stage echoed with my wanton laughter. I closed my eyes and let the tears slip from the corners of my eyes. I've held back for so long, and the day has finally come for the truth to come out. It's time for all of this to come to an end. Under everyone's expectant gaze, the police officer showed my mom his credentials. "This lady, we have received a real name report that you are suspected of child abduction and trafficking, intentional injury, and murder by design. So please come back to the police station with us." My mom's face instantly turned pale. Her eyes were full of dodging, shivering, explaining. "I did not. Comrade police. There is a misunderstanding. Ah, comrade police." The audience resounded with shouts of shock. "Comrade police. Did you guys arrest the wrong person? Obviously this woman is the one you should arrest." "Yes. This aunt is very poor. Just died her husband. Her daughter still refuses to support her." My mom wailed and howled and rushed over, pulling my arm and shaking it hard. "Pearl, how could you do this? How could you falsely accuse me like this?" I coldly watched her go crazy and spoke one word at a time. "Are you sure? You're my real mother." I pulled out a paternity test from my bag and handed it to the police. The paternity test shows that Rose Williams and I are not related by blood. Rose Williams didn't deny it, letting the tears fall all over her face as she sighed and explained, That's right, Pearl. You are indeed not our biological daughter. Your father and I picked you up in town square 20 years ago, when you were so tiny, wrapped in a blanket all over your body, lying alone next to a garbage can. When we found you, your little face was frozen blue and you were barely breathing. It was your father and I who carried you all night to the hospital in the city, and spent a lot of money to save your life. Could it be that you didn't save your father because of this reason? Even if you're not our own, but we're closer to you than our own. I buried my head and laughed out loud, but the tears fell involuntarily. Rose Williams, are you sure you guys picked me up in town square? The grace of nurture is greater than the grace of birth. If it's really like she said, how could I not care about my dad? I can't wait to be by their side every day and do my filial piety on their knees. But the truth was unbelievable. I wasn't picked up by them. I was abducted by them. I learned the secret by chance. When I left home after work, I was always uneasy about mom and dad staying at home, so I quietly installed a surveillance camera at home to see what they were doing. I accidentally recorded their conversation with Rose Williams, who was lying on the sofa, high on melon seeds, and looking sarcastic. This dead girl, how can she spend the money she sends back every month? It's only $5,000, not enough for me to buy a few clothes. Frank Williams snorted coldly and poured himself a glass of wine. At first I wanted to abduct her to be our son's daughter-in-law, if not for the fact that our son's life was so miserable that he fell into the river and drowned. Where would she have gotten the chance to eat and drink spicy food? If I say so, she is the one who is responsible for our son's death. Female dolls are just cheap skins. They can't be sold even if they are abducted. I had long ago given this recorded screen to the program team and asked them to pause the playback here. 20 years ago. My own mother was holding me in the sun at the end of the village when Frank Williams and his wife set their sights on me, who was sleeping. They tricked my mother by pretending to be blind and in need of guidance, then led her away from the house. Then they covered my mom's mouth and nose with an ether-soaked handkerchief when no one was looking, and carried me away to the car. When my mom woke up, she couldn't find me. Surveillance was not widespread that year, and even if you reported it to the police, you couldn't find out where the traffickers had gone. My mom was so devastated that she turned white overnight. From that day on, my whole family went on the road to find me. They traveled to almost a dozen provinces, and flyers looking for me were posted on every corner of the streets. In order to find me, they lost all their money and had to sell their cars and houses. Until one day, my brother had a car accident on the way to look for me. Having lost her daughter and son, my mom couldn't take it anymore and jumped off a building. Although my dad could not bear it and did not go with my mom. He also froze to death on the street in the winter night in the second year after my mom's death. When he died, he was still clutching my missing person poster in his hand, which my sister-in-law told me. I had a hard time finding my parents, but all I saw were two black and white picture frames. My sister-in-law and I hugged and cried, and she told me how hard it had been for my parents to find me, and how Rose Williams and Frank Williams had caused me to lose my family. Rose Williams and Frank Williams ruined my family. How could I not hate them? Rose Williams, her face pale, stumbled towards me. She knelt at my feet and sobbed uncontrollably. It's all a misunderstanding. Pearl, you've misunderstood me and your father. If you were abducted by us, how could we treat you like our own daughter? Do you still remember the year you got sick? Your dad and I went around kneeling to people, begging them to save your life. I remember. I interrupted her in a hushed voice. I remember it was a winter. I woke up one day with a high fever and lay in bed seriously ill. My parents went around begging people to borrow money to pay for my treatment, and even filmed videos of begging on their knees on the internet, asking netizens to donate money to me. They would even slit their wrists and feed me medicine with blood. All these things lingered in my mind. I was in the middle of a violent struggle. It was true that they abducted me, but it was also true that they were kind to me. So what should I do? Until I won the lottery that day, I came home to drink with them. Wanted to talk to them about this matter. As a result, I didn't expect Frank Williams and Rose Williams to get drunk and tell the truth about my illness back then. Pearl. If it wasn't for your mom and I being smart back then, you think you'd be living a life of being waited on? Huh. Frank Williams vigorously patted my shoulder and looked at me with a smug expression. You don't even know how much money we got by taking donations. It's more than we'd get if we sold you for dowry. That year I was not feeling well for 2 or 3 days. Rose Williams took me to the doctor in town once and thought the medicine was too expensive. Just went and bought some random fake medicine to feed me. She said, "It's all medicine anyway." I spent real money to buy real medicine. What's fake or not? If she dies from eating it, it's even if she has a bad life. After taking the fake medicine, I was bedridden and coincidentally, my mom swiped another video online of a mother holding her child and begging netizens for donations. She had a bright idea and realized that she could make money through this method. So she also helped me to borrow money from door to door. And then posted the video of borrowing money on the internet to make netizens sympathize. They even filmed videos of cutting their hands and bleeding them into medicine, forcing me to drink blood-filled tonics. At first they used their own blood, to later become chicken blood, duck blood, pig blood. I often fishy cannot drink. She will pinch me while forcing me to drink. But these images often made netizens cry in pain as they watched. Not only do they donate on the internet, but many netizens even come here from thousands of miles to hand over the money to them in person. And they bring lots of gifts. When she got a taste of it, she wouldn't let me get better. She fed me a year of fake medicine, until the back someone began to suspect. She sent me to a major hospital checkup, cured the disease. Rose Williams grabbed my face, gritted his teeth and said, "You this dead girl, if not my heart was good that year. Sent you to a major hospital checkup. You have long been dead, you know not. You have to know how to be grateful. The money you got from the lottery to me to spend." Frank Williams also echoed, chewing the peanuts in his mouth with a clicking sound. "Right. After you get the prize money, deposit it all into me and your mom's card, and then I'll find you a good family to marry. Dowry at least $300,000 to start with." Rose Williams used her elbow to pestle Frank Williams' arm, and her eyes were flashing. Isn't the old Wong family's stupid son looking for a stepmother for those 2 kids? I heard that the old Wong's family promised to give 2 suites and $400,000 dowry. She hooked my neck, said with a smile, "You quit your job. $10 million on me and your father here. And then honestly married to the village head of the family. Learn how to teach your children. Are a village. They will not treat you poorly." I was so angry that I was trembling. The old king's stupid son's first daughter-in-law, also abducted, after giving birth to a child, jumped into the river and committed suicide, leaving a pair of children also delirious, sitting under the tree drooling every day. That stupid son is more every day on the side of the road staring at the woman's buttocks. Cannot wait to get on the hand to touch too. I didn't realize that not only did they want to take my money away, but they also wanted to squeeze the last bit of value out of me. When this video was released, the winds in the audience and among the live stream all changed. All of them started to hold it for me. Some people even found the video of my mom filming me drinking pills back then and sent it out again. The video showed me with false eyes, resisting the bloody soupy medicine that night. And it ended with Rose Williams crying and pouring it into my mouth. Oh my God, you guys, look at that. She didn't even volunteer. Look at the pain on her face. I can't even eat blood Wong without it being too fishy for me. I can't even imagine what she tastes like with such a bloody bowl of soup medicine. I can smell the fishy odor even through the screen. Too disgusting. I take back my previous words of scolding her. This girl is really so pitiful. Not only was trafficked, but also used to use to make money, and even her parents want to marry her to a fool. seeing that everyone's are starting to favor me one way or the other. My mom started to panic. She hugged my legs and burst into tears. "Pearl, these are all your father's ideas. You know I'm a woman. I don't have much say in the family. I can't resist anything your dad says. And didn't we not marry you off to old Wang's stupid son? That was all drunken nonsense from your father and me. You're the one we've watched grow up. How could we possibly send you into the den of wolves? Even if you weren't our child, we did treat you like our own daughter. Otherwise, why didn't we marry you off to someone else for dowry earlier and send you to school instead? If it wasn't for me and your dad, would you have been able to go to college and find a good job?" I just watched quietly as she knelt down and cried bitterly, my heart spreading sour. I remembered how they used to love me in the village, and would take me to the street kiosk to buy candy to eat. They would take me to the street kiosk to buy sweets, and when other girls were at home doing farm work, they would let me go to school. Even when I was disobedient and unruly, they would not beat me, but stayed by my side. I was the child they raised and sent to college. I used to think I was the happiest kid in the world, having the best mom and dad. Then I realized that they didn't do that because they loved me at all. In fact, it was because a lot of netizens started to pay attention to me after she used the matter of my poor health to gain sympathy. In order to make an appearance and set up a persona. That's why they were so nice to me. They hated me in their bones, thinking that I had killed their son, and they couldn't do anything about my money tree. Luckily, I was able to get scholarships every time and even worked part-time on weekends after I got into college. They became complacent, thinking they had given me everything. When I was tired of serving dishes in restaurants on weekends, they took donations from netizens and ate and drank in their hometown. Where were my real parents at this time? Still on the way to find me in the sun and wind, crying until the tears dry up, gray sideburns. They even became penniless in order to find me, and sometimes they were so hungry that they could only look for food in the garbage cans. I didn't kill their son, but my parents and my brother died because of them. If they hadn't stolen me away, I would have had a happy family. I still would have gotten into college. I still would have worked well. They didn't get me these things. They got them because of me. The pop-ups between live streams were flying. There were still some Virgin Mary sympathizers who felt a little bit sorry for Rose Williams when they saw her crying like this. I think her parents still love her. It's that love-hate relationship. Her mom has a point. If it wasn't for her love, she definitely wouldn't have sent her to school. Agreed. My parents are patriarchal, so they wouldn't send me to school. Only let my brother study. But then I opened a small store on my own. Her mom hateful, although hateful, but still extenuating. But still sensible netizens accounted for the majority. Are you guys crazy? Actually, some people sympathize with the traffickers. You can only see this dead wife crying. How do you not know how this girl's real parents are now? I know. I'm a friend of this girl's parents. I heard that her brother had a car accident. Her mom jumped off a building 10 years ago. And her dad froze to death on the street a few years ago. It's so tragic, I'm really going to cry my eyes out. This couple really Pearl would have had a happy and perfect family if it wasn't for their trafficking. The traffickers deserve to die. And so do the people who sympathize with the traffickers. Rose Williams' eyes lit up when she saw someone speaking up for her. With a pleasing smile on her face, she hugged and shook my thigh. That's right, Pearl. If we didn't love you, how could we name you Pearl, now that your dad is dead? Can you please, for the sake of all the years we raised you, don't let me get arrested, Pearl? I kicked her away and looked up at the cops. Wait a minute. I still have the security footage here of the couple designing to murder me to cheat me out of my winnings. As soon as the words left my mouth, another video was dropped on the big screen. In the video, Rose Williams and Frank Williams were lying in bed cursing me. This little bitchy hoof. How come you didn't credit $10 million to our cards after so long? And home also does not return. How many times I call her every day. She refuses to come back dead or alive. Frank Williams lit a cigarette and took a drag on it, with an impatient face. I shouldn't have agreed to her working outside in the first place. I should have married her off to someone from the village earlier, so that I could tie her up tightly in our hands. This dead Neezy grew up. Wings hard, not good control. Rose Williams did not know what to think of. She lifted her eyeballs and slapped her thigh. Her people died. Money is not ours. I remember she also bought herself a huge amount of money. I remember she also bought herself a huge amount of insurance. By the time a few $1 million of insurance money is also ours, we are still worse than the old Wang's family that $400,000 of dowry. Frank Williams looked at Rose Williams for a few moments, and then burst out laughing. You're pretty smart for a wife. But how are we going to get her killed? If we are found out, we are finished. Rose Williams' eyes were full of sinister and venomous. She gritted her teeth with a face of indignation. She killed our son, causing our precious son to fall into the river and drown. So let's let her also fall into the river and drown. To pay for our precious son's life. This passage, even now when I hear it again, I still feel a chill down my back. 20 years. Even a dog has feelings, right? They actually wanted me dead for my money. From that day on, they coaxed me to go back every day for various reasons. From playing the card of affection at the beginning to coercion later on. But I didn't fall for any of it. Until one day, Frank Williams found out about cancer. The treatment cost of $1 million. Rose Williams. They gave me a lot of phone calls. I do not go back. They were angry. They ran to my place of work to find me. Let me go back to get money for my father's treatment. In order to avoid them, I took the money and went abroad to play. It took me half a year to come back. During these 6 months, they had no money to cure the disease, and they couldn't find me where I was. And even if they started a fundraising campaign on the internet, they could only scrape together $200,000 to $300,000, which was not enough to cure the disease at all. I know Frank Williams will not live long, so I returned to China some time ago and put out the news that I was at the mall. Wang Shufan sat on the ground and rolled around to play a rogue. She may have known that she was finished, and began to let out a burst of shrill popping sound higher than a burst. Seeing that the police were going to pull her, she struggled again and ran over to me begging. I've raised you for 20 years anyway, Pearl Shen. The grace of raising you is greater than that. I'm your mom. Mom knows she's wrong. Mom really knows she's wrong. Your father is dead. I'm all alone now. I don't want your money. I'll go back to the countryside. Okay, Pearl. Please. I beg you. I didn't say a word the whole time. I just watched with a cold face as she was taken away by the police. Seeing that there was no possibility for her to turn over, Rose Williams completely stopped pretending, and she grimaced and began to insult me. You bitch who killed my son. You and everyone in your family deserve to die. I'll tell you the truth. Your parents found their way to our town once. I had someone cheat them out of all their money. They're such two idiots. They believe whatever they say. They deserve to die. And you deserve to die too. You killed my son and then my husband. I won't let you go even if I die. You bitch. You're such an unfilial, ungrateful wretch. You'll get your comeuppance sooner or later. I closed my eyes and suddenly felt relaxed. Turning my head to look at the audience. Those who were originally going to shout and kill me were all showing expressions of sympathy and guilt at this moment. Some wanted to rush up and apologize to me, but I shook my head and quickly left the scene. I have to go find my sister-in-law. Back then, my sister-in-law had put in a lot of effort to help my parents find me, and I heard that it was later that her husband threatened to divorce her if she used the family's money to find me again. I gave my sister-in-law $1 million. At first I was lying to Rose Williams them. In fact, I won $50 million. My sister-in-law got the money in tears, hugged me and cried for a long time. She told me that over the years, my parents had owed a lot of people money in order to find me, so if it was possible, I would take this $1 million to pay them back first. I asked my sister-in-law to accept it at ease, and then went door to door to return all the money my parents borrowed. I can't fulfill my filial piety at their knees, but at least I can let them die in a clear and clean way. My sister-in-law took me to my mom and dad's grave, and when I saw their kind faces on the tombstone, I couldn't hold back my tears any longer. Later, I kept my mom and dad's house for a few years, as if I were by their side. The first time I heard from Rose Williams again was when she had been sentenced. The severity of what she had committed was such that she was expected to spend the rest of her life in prison. Even if she was released early for good behavior, she would starve to death because she couldn't make ends meet. On this day, I came to visit my mom and dad's grave again, and a ray of sunlight shot down and hit me. I think it's time for me to move on. End.